So, today we are making pulled pork. You need the pork shoulder butt cut.
He said butt.
But it actually doesn't come from the pig butt. It's the shoulder. I don't know why they say shoulder butt, because it's
Shoulder butt what?
but what? And this, I like the bone in one, and I don't know why, but you can get the boneless, but the bone is in there. And then before you open it and throw away the wrapper, check. This is 8.3 pounds. So you're gonna cook it for 8 hours, 1 hour per pound. There we go. Okay. So, step one for me is put on your gloves.
And a mask.
Always have someone in the background burning styrofoam. It lends kind of a 60s hippie vibe to it. Makes it feel kind of special.
Off your butt.
Yeah, remove the plastic from the butt. Okay, then we're taking your nice, sharp, big knife. And it comes with the fat side and the not fat side. So we're starting here, fat side up, and we're scoring it about a ½ an inch deep. So we cut the diagonal stuff. Now we have our coarse kosher salt, which is hard to say. And we're not measuring it, we're just dumping it on here.
Oh, I just lost my. Oh, I don't know what happened.
I'm kind of
Still going.
working that into the cuts. And we're turning it over and doing the other side. And we're letting it do that. And then on your ingredients where it says whole coriander, 1 tablespoon. Whole black peppercorns, 2 tablespoons. We are using whole spices and actually toasting them in the oven, which sounds like ridiculously fancy, but it makes a difference in how it comes out. But if you don't want to, you can buy ground mustards, ground black pepper, and ground coriander and just dump it in, but it won't be as good. Okay. So we're taking those 3 whole spices, putting them in the oven that's almost warmed up to 400. And that's gonna happen for about 10 minutes or until you can start to smell the spices. If you weren't burning styrofoam, then you'd be able to smell the spices. Then we're taking everything else on the list. I forgot to get minced garlic. So I'm gonna dump in a little bit of garlic powder and pretend, but if you get fresh garlic and mince it up, that's the best, of course.
Or use your garlic press.
Or get the, garlic press. Or get the little jar with the already minced up stuff.
She has a garlic press.
Oh,
Sarah needs
nice.
a garlic press.
Very good. Well, the garlic is pretty key to it, so. All right, here's the thyme.
How many cloves of garlic would she have?
So that you end up with a couple of tablespoons of finished product, so that's probably like 3 or 4.
That was what I was gonna guess too.
What
So.
time did you put it in?
Put what in?
The time.
The thyme. Oh yeah. Some of that. Some of that. Brown sugar. Everything's better with brown sugar.
Everything's better with brown sugar.
Brown sugar.
music is better with brown sugar.
The song's about a different kind of brown sugar.
Yeah. Orange juice. Dump in some orange juice, and that apparently the citric acid is a meat tenderizer that helps the whole process.
Are you doing a chemistry experiment over there or what?
No, but you are, and we can smell it.
What are
Here's
we
our
talking about?
Here's our fake garlic we're throwing in there. Now the part where it says a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, this is kind of a season to taste kind of thing. You can just use some ground red pepper. Cayenne pepper is a lot stronger. Some people even like the crushed red pepper flakes. So this is what gets it a little bit spicy or not. So, but the half teaspoon of cayenne will still, it gives a little bit of taste, but it's not hot. So if you're gonna go easy, do that version. Okay, that's all those things. Just gonna stir that stuff up together. Now we're gonna pause the video for about 5 more minutes while the toasted spices get toasted. Anyway, so we were just roasting those spices, the coriander, the pepper, and the mustard. It was about 10 minutes or so, just till you start to smell them.
Do you smell it?
No, they don't look any different, but there they are toasted. Don't want to burn it, so don't overdo it. That was 400 degrees for less than 10 minutes. I happen to have this nice granite mortar and pestle that was gifted to me, so I get to grind them up that way. If you don't have one,
You're gonna need to use a rock.
well, before I had that, I used to just leave them in the baking pan, and I crushed them with the side of this meat tenderizer thing, or get a hammer out of the basement or whatever. You can, I've seen people roll the side of a glass jar over it, or again, you can hear them popping in there, and it starts to smell good.
Put them underneath the tires of your car.
A rolling pin on a granite countertop or something. Anyway, or you can just buy the pre-ground stuff. Then toasting it won't do any good. You just dump it in, and you'll have an okay pork. When you make some things, you want to like lick the tools, but
Not that.
not as much for this. That goes in with all those other fine ingredients. We're gonna stir that, and if it's not wet enough to be like a paste, then we'll just dump in a little more orange juice. The 1/4 cup was just approximately. We want it to be like paste. There we go. Everything's all in there. Now, I'm gonna grab another glove because I just like it that way. We're gonna put about half of it on the fat side first. Oh, I guess that means you could have cut the meaty side first and the fat side second, and then you didn't have to flip it over at the end like I did. But either way, I think you can figure it out. Now, hopefully, you have lined your roasting pan with the giant size foil so you don't have seams in it.
What do you need?
There goes another glove.
I can tell.
That's right. So I put a piece that way, gonna put a piece this way. After it cooks for 8 hours, there's gonna be about 2 inches of liquid when it renders the fat out of it. And if you live in a cold climate, after you sort out all the good meat parts, you put it in the garage and it gets cold and it solidifies, and you lift out the foil and throw it in the trash and you're all done. But
she doesn't live in a cold climate.
you don't
right
have
now,
that
so.
right now, yeah. So it's still the foil doesn't change the cooking any. It just is easier to clean up. then, because we were inefficient, we wasted another glove.
You don't grow on trees, you know.
Gloves do not grow on trees, you are correct. Now we're putting fat side down.
Pork doesn't grow on trees either.
Oh, yeah. We're taking the rest of it, putting on this side. And we're rubbing all that down in the gaps and cracks too. There we go. One more foil over the top. Just to kind of tuck it in bed a little bit. It has a lid on, but it's just nice this way. There we go. And then our lid. So, it needs to cook for that 1 hour per pound. In this case, that's 8 hours. If I started at 9 p.m., then I have to get up at 5 in the morning and fix it. I'm just gonna let it sit here and marinate for an hour or two and do it last minute before I go to bed. So, or you could even marinate it in the refrigerator for several hours. This would probably only be like 1 hour. And then you set your oven for 250. Only 250, not any higher. Not 240, not 260, 250 for 1 hour per pound. So then, and when it's done, then probably take the lid off and that top piece of foil and probably let it set for, it'll be about an hour before you could even, it'll be too hot to work on. Let it cool down. And then you get a bowl get your gloves on and start pulling out the meat and pull the good pieces out and leave the fat and the bone and the ugly pieces in your pan to throw away. And you're done. The end.